Alright, hello and welcome to another episode of the Ortho Wire Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about repairing retainers. Now, disregard this black thing. I had to put permanent marker on there so you couldn't see the name. HIPAA reasons and all, but here we have a pretty good break on here. And so what we're going to try to do is repair this the most simplest way possible. And that would be just opening this up and laying in new acrylic. Two things you need to watch out for is one, the wires and the clasp may be activated, which will make it pop out like that. What you're wanting to do for the repair is this to be totally passive, totally flush against the roof of the mouth. Now, depending on how old the retainer is and how much the patient has developed, it may be hard to do that because sometimes the roof of the mouth changes. Depends on how much they have worn this retainer. If they haven't worn it very much, there may be a lot of changes. You just got to start over. One is undo the bends here because they've tightened them to make sure it's nice and tight on the mouth. So you're going to have to undo the bends here, or you will have to prep for the clasp here, and you might have to do a little bit of both depending on how deep your Adams clasp or whatever clasp you're using gets up. I'm just going to unbend these a little bit, open this up a little bit. Alright, I don't think I want to touch these. Try to undo those. I'll not run into problems. Just as long as I can wax this thing down with those already activated, will be good. The next thing is removing all these little bubbles here. So I'll zoom in. See all these bubbles? You're going to have to remove them all because they're not in the mouth. Therefore, all they're going to do is keep the retainer from seating all the way. Okay, we got a pretty good seal, you can tell, which means this person wore their retainer really well. So if you saw huge gaps or something in here, then you're probably going to have to replace all the acrylic. This looks like we're going to be able to do a simple repair. Now, word of advice, I would have a pricing tier of repairs. One for simple repair, one for complex repair, because sometimes it'll take you as long as doing a whole new retainer to do a repair. So that is hitting somewhere. I think it's this wire right here. You can kind of tell. Yeah, it's flared out. So whatever broke this has caused the wire to bend a little bit, and that's another issue you got to deal with. Oh, there we go. Looks like when they broke it, this got bent out a little bit. There we go. That fits a lot better naturally, passively. Okay, time for trimming this down. I just like to use a regular acrylic burr sometimes. And what you want to do is open this up at least a millimeter. So you get some acrylic in there. Also wanted to bevel this edge, otherwise you'll get a nice line between the new acrylic and the old acrylic. So if you bevel this edge, the new acrylic will kind of blend into the old acrylic better. brakes make a very clean, shiny brake, you want it scuffed up a little bit, just a little bit of mechanical retention for the new acrylic to attach to, and get rid of this glossy stuff. And you can kind of scuff up a little bit extra on the sides. Okay, so we open that up a little bit. Okay, model prep is pretty straightforward. You're going to want to put separator in there, and you're going to want to wax this down. So let me go ahead and put some separator just right in this area. You can separate the whole thing, but I want to wax down the retainer along the edge, and if I have separator there, the wax won't stick very well. Some people will put the separator on and then push this down and wax it on real quick. That way the separator will get on the back of the retainer, and you'll keep the acrylic from seeping underneath this, which is hard to clean up and sometimes changes how the retainer fits. But I'm going to show you a different way that I do it. Okay, I have a brush here with some Vaseline on it, or as we had to call it in laboratory terms, petrolatum. And I'm just going to paint it in the back here. Try not to get it on the edge there. Otherwise your acrylic will not bond to it. And that's the whole purpose of this. So the acrylic will not bond on the inside of this. Especially if you have a spring or something like this. Just cover that spring so the acrylic may get in there and cause havoc. You don't want new acrylic to get on the inside of this. Okay, now that you've done that, I like to put a second layer of separator on here. Seat this, and then we're going to wax it down. It's very important that your retainer is passive. If you're trying to hold it down too much, it may come up while you're trying to repair it. Now I have a steamer, so this I like to use a lot of wax because it's real easy to take off after the acrylic is cured. All I have to do is just take it in there and steam off all the wax. I know this is probably overkill on the wax, but like I said, better be safe than sorry. Well as I can. That's where it's good to keep good records on your computers of what acrylic colors you used last time. Another thing to worry about is sometimes the colors fade, or they'll eat a lot of mustard or something and it will stain their retainer, or they'll drink a lot of Dr. Pepper and it will stain their retainer, and you'll never be able to match that, but get as close as you can. Alright, acrylic time. Okay, I am at my pumice wheel, and here is the finished. As you can see, it's very smooth. What you didn't see was maybe you saw it in the previous film, that it was overfilled. It was yes, convex, and he trimmed it, and he built it up in acrylic that way so he can trim it back down. Now, one thing you can see is, you can see the repair line. See it? Right there and right there. And what I'll do is I'll just pumice that down a little bit. But looks like the Vaseline worked. So there you go. And I'll show some pictures after it's done. It was broken right here, if you remember. It's been magically, not so magically, fixed. And if you notice, I've pumiced it in there some. And the acrylic guy is talented enough that he was able to blend the glitter together. Okay, we got a pretty good fit. And there it is. Excelente, right?